So to get the kart on the ground, we're simply going to rock it back like so. Now you've got the kart on the ground, you need to get in it. And the easiest way to get in the go-kart is the 1, 2, 3 method. So now that we're sitting in the car, it's time to get all the controls just perfect for you. Today's video is a follow along from last week's Karting Basics 101. This episode will be showing you how to get in and out of your kart and get comfortable for your first day of go-karting. Before we get started, I'd just like to make a special mention out to all those Patreon supporters that have been supporting our channel and our YouTube members. We really appreciate that little bit extra. So as you can see, our go-kart is up on the kart trolley at the moment, and here locally, when you go to the go-kart track, these things are everywhere because you can actually lift the kart up off the ground using sort of a lever action in a one-man style fashion, all by yourself, so that you can get the kart up and down, no problems. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on how to do that. So to get the kart on the ground, we're simply going to rock it back like so. And I'm actually holding a bit of downwards pressure with my hand here. And then I'm going to lift the kart up, pull the trolley out, and then lower the kart down to the ground. Perfect. Okay, so obviously you're going to need a fair bit of strength to lift the kart by yourself, just like I showed. But it will take a little bit of practice, but it's pretty easy to do. Now you've got the kart on the ground, you need to get in it. And the easiest way to get in a go-kart is the 1, 2, 3 method. Standing on the side of the kart, we're going to do step 1, which is put our foot in front of the side pod bar here behind the stub axle. Step 2, we're going to put our left hand here on the top of the steering wheel. Step 3, we're going to put our right hand down and to take most of our upper body weight through our right hand. And then you can lift up your right leg and sort of swing it around the steering wheel and then lower yourself into the seat. Now to get out of the go-kart, it's a little bit different. Some guys can reach around onto the tyres and push themselves up, but you are dangerously close to the exhaust. So if you're brand new to karting, maybe give that one a miss. And an easy way to get out of the go-kart is just to put your hands on the back of the seat like this, push yourself up, slide your foot under, and just use that for balance, keeping most of the weight of your body in your hands, and then push up off the seat. And try not to stand with a lot of weight in this foot, because you can, if you're standing on the seat, you can actually damage the seat here and bend the seat on the bolt. And then you can come back out through the left side of the kart. So now that we're sitting in the kart, it's time to get all the controls just perfect for you. And start with, we're going to talk about the steering wheel. Now the steering wheel does have a few settings. So you can see here on the steering column support push here, we've got a couple of different hole options. We can move this bolt out and we can lift the steering wheel up and down. And we can also move it forwards and backwards ever so slightly by just using the different holes here. Now on the back of the steering wheel here, you can see ever so slightly that there's a bit of an angle machined into the steering boss. Now you can get additional angled bosses. Like this little guy here is a 15 degree additional wedge that you can stick between the steering wheel and the steering boss. This is the original straight style steering boss. So if you didn't like the angled steering wheel, you could actually go back to your straight generic jobby. Otherwise you could run the extra wedge, or you could run the standard, what comes on the new karts, the standard angled boss. Now while we're on the subject of micron brackets, might as well just point out that you can actually get one from Tony Kart that will bolt straight to the steering wheel, and your micron can sit right here. Otherwise you can get this little guy from Kartmaster, and you actually sandwich this between the steering wheel and the boss, and then your micron sits down below the steering wheel. And obviously we've got our Kartmaster Extreme Wedge. If we put this guy in, the steering wheel angle is obviously much more increased in direction of the driver, and then our micron can just mount here on this bracket as well. Now the pedals do have lots of adjustments. We've got a return bolt here that can be adjusted to move the pedal up and back. Obviously you have to loosen off your throttle cable, and then there's a stopper bolt down here at the end that limits the range of motion of the throttle pedal. And then obviously you can adjust your brake pedal too for its resting position, and then the brake rod here, you can just jack it forwards or backwards to suit where you're going to position the brake pedal for a comfortable leg length. And the last adjustment you can make is your heel rest here. You can see you've got a couple of little options where you can unscrew it, and also too on the end you can move the heel rest forward and backwards, and that's super good to keep your legs planted in the kart. Now we have covered pedals and heel adjustments before on YouTube, but we also go more in depth on all these subjects on our Racing Rituals tutorial series over on our website www.parapublic.com.au, and you can go and check those out too. So the last thing we're going to show you today to get comfortable in your go-kart is how to fit seat padding. You can get different types of seat padding kits. This is the full seat kit that covers with your back, sides, hips, the whole enchilada. Otherwise you've got just the rib protection. Now this is just high density foam with a sticky back film. And if you put these here over the top of the seat bolts, and also too close to this edge, because I find this edge actually cuts into my ribs the most when you're going through the corners. So you can put the seat padding kit nice and high, just like so. I like to just pull a little piece off, top and bottom, and then you can stick that onto the seat. Now the reason I do that is if I ever need to get this off, with the glue on the back of these, it's so awesome. If you put the whole lot on, you can never get it off and it just all rips and goes terrible. So if you put a piece of seat padding like that, and then we're just going to keep the edges down with some race tape. So you can just get some race tape like so, run that down over the edge, and that way when you're getting in and out of your car you're not ripping the seat padding off. And a couple more like this. And obviously you can stick it all the way down the back side here and all the way over the top. And that'll give you just a little bit of protection when you're driving around the track. So there's some tips on how to make yourself comfortable for your first time in your go-kart. It is a little bit daunting, but get to the track. The people in karting are always super friendly and super helpful, especially to those new guys. If you've liked this video, give us a thumbs up, smash the damn like button, subscribe, turn on those pesky notifications, and go and follow us on Instagram and Facebook because we love you guys. See you in the next video.